Hey class, it's Mr. Jones. I'm going to go over this nonfiction Google slide presentation with you all and then kind of go over the assignment at the end, show you all kind of what I'm looking for and how to do that. So I hope this helps. But as always, if you have any further questions or anything, feel free to shoot me an email. I was trying to show it as a slideshow. Present. There it is. All right, so nonfiction. What is nonfiction? Nonfiction is real. That's the biggest thing. And I'm sure a lot of you all, that's what you've been taught from, a young age. Nonfiction is real as opposed to fiction is generally not real. The people, the places, the events, and the ideas that are presented in nonfiction are real, not invented or created. And I showed a little facts here. I still believe nonfiction is the most important literature to come out of the second half of the 20th century, from Tom Wolfe. I'm trying to remember what Tom Wolfe, I think he was a scientist. And he said that, and a lot of people think nonfiction isn't as interesting to read or things, but it's very important because, it's facts. It's not made up. It's not make-believe. It's facts. It's real. What are some different features of nonfiction? Nonfiction is narrated by an author who is always a real person. It presents facts, describes true life experiences, or discusses ideas. Nonfiction is written for a specific audience or group of readers. It also addresses a clear purpose or reason for writing. So the biggest thing I need you all to understand is that nonfiction is always written for a specific audience or group of readers. And it always has a specific, clear purpose or reason why you're writing it. Important nonfiction terms to remember. You all, these are just terms you'll need to know whenever it comes test time. And we will do different assignments, different things through nonfiction that kind of gets you more familiarized with these terms. Style, the particular way in which a writer uses language. Style reflects an author's personality. A lot of times, specific authors or specific spokespeople might use bias, and that might be a part of their style. And bias is a one-sided presentation, which we'll go into later on. Some of them have more of a humoristic kind of tone style, where they try to incorporate humor into their writing or their interview or whatever it is. And that's part of style too. Purpose, the specific reason why a nonfiction text was written. For example, a bunch of president speeches. Yesterday was Pearl Harbor, and that was whenever the president back then, FDR, gave the Day of Infamy speech. And the purpose for that was to kind of reunite the country of America and try to cast away that fear that was all around America at the time after the bombing at Pearl Harbor. Tone is the author's attitude toward the subject or reader, displayed through word choice and style. Biggest thing about tone is you find it through the author's word choice and their style. But I think that one will be a lot easier for you all to kind of see once we do some more things with it and you kind of get to see some examples. And perspective, the viewpoint or opinion an author expresses about the subject, either directly or indirectly. Perspective is important. Think about it like this. You and your friends might have different perspectives because you all grew up differently. You grew up in a different house. You grew up in different situations. It's the same way with authors and with writers, or with people just giving speeches or other parts or other things of nonfiction. People have different perspectives, and a lot of that is shaped on what they've experienced growing up. Different types of nonfiction. The three main types of nonfiction are essays, which you all know what an essay is. An essay examines and discusses a focused topic, often including the writer's personal viewpoints. An article provides information about a topic, a person, or an event. So you all, the biggest difference between essay and article, essays generally bring in more of the author or the writer's personal viewpoints or opinion, as opposed to an article, which generally provides more facts, strictly more information. That's not always the case, but that's generally what signifies the difference between the two. And a speech is different from both of these because a speech is vocalized, it's written aloud. Or it's read aloud. A speech written to be read aloud presents a topic and may persuade, inform, explain, or entertain. So that's the big thing that separates essay and article from a speech, is that a speech is verbalized, where it's spoken, and an essay and article is not. What are the different types of essays? So there are different. There are 5 different types of essays. It's going to be important that you all know these. But like I said, we'll do more with this later on in the unit. But a narrative essay tells a story of actual events or an individual's life experiences. Just think about it like a personal narrative. A personal narrative kind of talks about someone's upbringing sometimes, or maybe an experience or experiences in someone's life. So that's an easy way to kind of remember what a narrative essay is. A descriptive essay creates an impression about something by presenting physical details using the 5 senses. So I always talk about trying to be descriptive in your writing, and we say that to try to kind of implement, or to have you all implement using the 5 senses, because that's adding description to your writing. So that's kind of a way to remember that. It's descriptive is using the 5 senses. Sight, smell, hear, taste, touch. Expository essay provides information, discusses ideas, or explains a process. Easiest way for me to remember expository is expository, explain, the EXP in both. Expository essay explains something. Persuasive essay, that's pretty self-explanatory too. Attempts to convince readers to take a specific course of action or adopt the writer's viewpoint. Persuasive essays, oh no, didn't mean to do that, whoops. Just simply try to persuade the reader. And a reflective essay, let me hide this real quick, expresses the writer's thoughts and feelings in response to a personal experience or to an idea. So you all, narrative essay and reflective essays kind of get mixed up. It would just be important for you all to kind of read these two and be familiar with the difference of the definition between the two. Like I said, we'll be doing more of this as we get further into the nonfiction unit. So don't worry about it just yet. The main idea, there's always going to be a main idea in nonfiction text. The main idea is the central message, the insight, or opinion in a work of nonfiction. So basically, what's the main thing? Basically, what's the main sentence, if you had to put into a sentence, that the author or the writer or the speaker is trying to tell the reader? And an easy way to find main idea is to try to find what are the details, what's the details supporting. Whatever the details are supporting, that's probably going to be the main idea. And supporting details are the pieces of evidence that a writer uses to prove the main idea. Think about it in the court, the judicial system. You can't just basically claim something happened in the court and expect to win your case or your trial if you don't have any pieces of evidence to support it. So the main idea, essentially, in a courtroom is your claim, and your supporting details are your evidence that support it. And like I said, we'll kind of go more into that specifically a lot. We're actually going to be doing something with it in the assignment later on after we finish this PowerPoint. Need help identifying the main idea. So a lot of times you'll read something and you'll be like, I feel like there could be 2 or 3 different main ideas. One thing that's always really helped me is to generate questions prior to reading, or maybe after you've read it and you still have some confusion. Some questions to think about. Why did the author choose this title? A lot of times the title has a lot to do with the main idea, because the title is going to be about whatever the author or the speaker or the writer is trying to portray in their nonfiction text. how might events in the author's life influence his or her attitude? So you all, these are going to be just some things you all can do if you're kind of stuck. I don't know what the main idea of this one is. Think about these 2 questions and ask yourself that, and then go back, reread it, and see if that helps you. It helped me a lot. It still does to this day, actually. But like I said, we'll go more into that later on also. Watch this video. It's just a kind of video showing 2 separate videos or 2 separate movies. One's a movie trailer and one's a movie from National Geographic. One's fiction, one's nonfiction. It's very corny, but I thought it's kind of cool. I think it's Happy Feet 1 or 2. I think it's 2. And I just want you all to see the difference between fiction and nonfiction. So you all just take your time, or take your own time to watch that. It's not insanely long, but I think it's pretty neat. And no, go away. Okay. And so now let's go to your assignment. So you go to tweentribune.com, and what you all can do is you all can just click in that link right there, and a pop-up should go right there, and it will let you open it. And it says, once there, on the very top of the page, click grades 9 through 12. So we go up here, we click grades 9 through 12. Pick one of the texts that interests you. There are over 130 pages, so feel free to look around. So you all there's all kinds of different articles to read from. And if you don't like any on this page, go to the next. Like I said, there are 130 pages. Just find one that interests you. And if you don't find one that interests you, find one that somewhat interests you. And what you're going to do after that is, after reading the text, go to the Google Doc that's graded and can be found in this week's assignment in the Google Classroom and complete. I don't have that pulled up, but let me see if I can pull it up right here real quick. I will. Where is it? Introduction to short story. There it is. And what you're going to do is you're going to put your name there, and there's the directions again. It's the same thing. So what you're going to do first is you're going to put the article title. So whichever one you choose, the article title, is it true elephants can't jump? That seems interesting. So there's your title right there. So you're going to go in there, or go back to your Google Doc, where did I put it? Right there, and type in, is it true that elephants can't jump? Then we're going to read the article. They're not insanely long. Like that one's not long at all. But it does have a video that you probably will need to watch to kind of get the full effect and kind of understand the main idea. And you're going to put the main idea in one sentence right here. And you all, if you feel like what you're writing isn't a perfect main idea, that's okay. I'm just trying to get you all in the habit of forming a main idea. And we'll improve on that throughout the unit, but I kind of want to see where you're at right now at the beginning at forming a main idea, at reading something and being able to identify and form the main idea. And then whenever you're finished with that, remember what the court example I gave. What's a claim without any evidence? And your supporting detail is your evidence. So why is that the main idea? So you list 3 supporting details down here. I don't know, didn't mean to do that. Find something in the text that the writer puts in there to support their main idea, and explain how each of those details support the main idea. Because you can't just throw out a detail and just not tell me how it ties into the main idea. So I'm looking for not only the 3 supporting details, but an explanation on how each of those details support the main idea. And that's all that I need you all to do on that assignment. You all, like I said, this is a lot for me to kind of see where you all are at coming into the unit at forming a main idea and identifying supporting details. So if you're like worried that's not perfect yet, don't, because honestly, I'm not expecting it to be perfect right now. I'm expecting effort. You know, you're trying to do it, so I can at least get like a barometer where y'all are at, and effort. So effort and effort. That's the main thing I need, you all, is you all just to try on this. Like I said, we're going to be building upon it. So do not worry too much about it just being perfect. But whenever you're finished, you're just going to submit it in the Google Classroom into this week's work. But we will be referring back to this PowerPoint throughout the unit, mainly just to go over some of the different terms that we went over, like style, purpose, tone, perspective, essay, article, speech, and the different essays, because it's important that you all know that. So I think I've taken enough of your all's time with this video. I don't know how long it is, but it's probably been too long. I apologize, but I do hope that this has helped some. And as always, if you have any further questions, please feel free to email me. Call the school. Like I said, I'll be here from 9 to 2 every weekday. And 2, it could be longer than that. It depends on how long it takes me to get some things done. But that's all for right now. Like I said, if you have any further questions, just let me know. Thank you all for watching. I hope you all have an awesome day.